Laurin, thank you so much for doing this. I know your time is very valuable. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of yours. It's an honor to be talking to you right now. You just competed in the IFBB Victory Pro. What was the
Yep, still
experience?
got the peeling tan on.
Yeah, I see that. Excellent. Well, how was the experience like for you? Third place. Was it a good show?
Yes, it was a great show. It was actually only pros, which was different because normally they're the combo. So it was really cool, very well run show. My best placing so far, but more importantly, it was my best showing so far. I felt my best. I felt super relaxed coming into it, really confident. So that's the best takeaway for me, at least.
Let's talk about, for people who don't know, about Loco Fit Consulting. This is your business. What's it all about?
So it's just an online nutrition and training business, and I focus not just on competitors, on a lot of just regular gym goers also, but people who are really trying to change their focus. And my tagline is redefine healthy. So I'm really big in the industry as far as promoting overall health, and of course, there's a time and a place for everything, but I'm really big on balance and just kind of balancing your fitness life with your regular life, which is something that is often neglected in the industry. And again, of course, when you're prepping, things do take a toll, but trying to stay as balanced as possible. And that's really been my journey so far this year, and what I try to, implement for my clients. And it's been really great past few years.
Yeah, and you're the real deal. You have a master's in exercise science. I think that's really awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like I was so far away, but I just graduated in May. But it literally feels like years years ago.
Yeah. How about for preps for all the shows you've done this year? What's the journey been like?
So it was a very different journey, honestly. I'm going into week 26 now. I've never prepped for my for the first show. It was when in Phoenix. It was 22 weeks until that show from the beginning, which is a lot longer than normal. Usually I would end up extending preps, but from the start to my first show, it was a lot longer and it was so much better. And I was really forced to kind of get out of my comfort zone this year as far as traveling and having the business be full time and really large. So I had to be less selfish than usual for my prep, which was different. And I also just had to get out of my comfort zone and be used to traveling and doing different things while prepping, which is, obviously very tiring, can be very selfish. So it was kind of a different dynamic this year, but it was really cool. And I'm glad I got to showcase that, for other people who are going through the same thing. And, we're all busy, right? We all have to do stuff. So it is possible to kind of balance everything. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. So that was what I was trying to show this prep.
Well, let's jump back in time real quick to 2014. You turned pro at the National Bodybuilding Championships. When they call your name for their overall, do you remember what that moment was like?
It was very, very surreal, but I felt so confident going into that show that I really wasn't, when I'm my best, I don't overthink things. And so I wasn't really thinking one way or the other. It's a 2-day show for anyone who's not familiar. So I basically, went into it, got first call outs, got moved to the middle, but really didn't think too much about it, honestly. I was just excited and I just felt really calm and collected. And, everyone's like, oh my God, you got first call outs, you got to sit here, you got to sit. And I was like, whatever, we'll see you tomorrow. And I was just really, really chill the whole time. And that's actually how I was this weekend too, which was a really cool feeling being able to get back to that. And it's a hard thing, but when I do feel confident, I just kind of am like, oh, okay, this is awesome. But then once it hit me, of course, winning the overall, it was very, very exciting and a cool feeling of all the things that I had done leading up to it. And it really meant a lot because I just come off of a third place at USA's previously. So I was really close to getting second, but I'm really glad that I didn't just so I could go to nationals, and have a better experience there.
Who supports you lately during your preps? I'm sure you have some people in the audience at the shows.
Big support system. Very, very lucky. My boyfriend has been there every step of the way. He helps me with a lot of the programming. So that's been awesome. My family's super supportive. They go to every show. And then I've worked with Lane Norton since the beginning. I do a lot of my own stuff, and he kind of just looks it over. So I have him as support, my boyfriend Ryan, myself, and then also PJ, PJ Baron has helped me, been a great mentor this prep also. So kind of bouncing around different ideas with them. And then also two people that I work with, Paul Ravella and Eric Helms. Again, two people that I kind of bounce ideas off of. They're both very well established, great coaches. So it's kind of like a big network. And I like doing things myself, but having that support, then I know that I can go to educated people to help me. So it's been really cool this prep to kind of combine everything.
That's cool. This is kind of maybe a question out of left field, but I wanted to ask you some myths maybe about women in the gym. What are your thoughts on that?
So it depends on who you're talking to. Depends on, very context related. If you're talking to my mom and her friends, it's going to be very different than maybe a competitor and someone my age and, somebody on the NPC circuit, right? I don't think the women lifting, getting bulky it's not very prevalent in the fitness community anymore. I still believe that it's prevalent in the non-fitness, non-competition community. I think it's pretty evident that females are weight training, and it's just become, basically the gyms are just full of women training now. Of course, they're still, doing cardio, but for the most part, it's not unusual to see that. And even in the small private studios, there's a lot of just females being trained. So that's really cool. I still think that could be maybe a notion outside of the fitness industry, but within the industry, no. People know you got to train, you have to lift weights. Probably the biggest misconceptions I see within the industry are in relation to the things when you diet, oh, you can only eat these foods, or, oh, you can't have water the week of the show. And, things like that are still being perpetuated. That's also getting better. Maybe I'm just kind of hoping that it is, and I'm seeing it through my eyes. But I still hear people tell me all the time, like, no, you can't eat that food. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? I've eaten this for 6 months, and it has no issue on me. Why would I not be able to eat that? Or don't drink water the day of the show. You're gonna hold on to water. It's like, that's so silly. It doesn't even physiologically make sense. But so those are more the competition kind of myths. All the old school stuff is still around. Some of it is very dangerous, which is why we try to promote, please continue to drink water. Do not cut all of your sodium out. Do not load potassium. Things like that are very dangerous. But as a general whole, I think the fitness community has gotten a lot better and a lot more educated, which is really exciting, to say the least.
You talk a lot about this stuff on your YouTube channel. You have a very active channel. Do you enjoy the YouTube videos?
I do. So I do and I don't. Well, so I would love if I could have like a camera crew around and that I wouldn't have to think about it. I would be totally cool with that. The daily vlog style is just like not me at all. I can't remember to bring my camera. I don't want to think about filming something when I'm somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I said, if someone were to film me, that'd be great. But my videos, as you might know, are just me kind of talking and very just content related. More like Q&A style, and to me that's what I have to give to YouTube. People who like my channel like that, and if they want to go to somebody who's more of like a daily vlogger style, they have somewhere else to go. So I like providing content and reaching people who maybe I wouldn't be able to work with, or just in general giving out information. So that's cool. I'm really not great at editing, clearly, hence the low quality of my videos, but I try to put out good content, which I hope balances out the poor editing skills. But besides that, doing good videos is fun for me, especially talking about topics that maybe other people wouldn't, and some people are either embarrassed or whatnot, and I'm pretty open, so I enjoy that aspect of YouTube.
I don't think your videos are low quality. I think they're pretty good.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the whole like cinematic, like people, like their whole life seems like a Beverly Hills reality show. Like that's just like not. Well, that's not me.
Well, fun fact about you: you used to ride horses competitively. Do you ride anymore?
I don't, and I wish I did because it is fun. But I actually haven't since college. But yeah, that was my whole life growing up. So it was a big part of my life growing up, as far as just kind of what I was into, but also a big part of me learning discipline and how to like take direction and take care of things. Like taking care of a horse is a big responsibility, and that trickled into other aspects of my life, which is good.
That's cool. Well, you've got the YouTube, and you've also, of course, got the Instagram. Let's talk about a couple of recent pictures on your Instagram. So there's a cool picture of you recently during a USF Performance Laboratory video shoot. What was going on there? That looked really cool.
So, so I graduated and all the cool stuff starts happening. Essentially, our program is relatively small, but it is growing. Which, as I've started and since I've still been involved, it's gotten so much larger. But basically, this is going to be a class for an exercise physiology class for non-majors that will be offered online. So they were filming all different modules for the courses. And I was part of the body comp module. So my advisor, Dr. Campbell, was the one who was doing the ultrasound on me. So essentially for that module, he's going to be talking about 2 different body fat testings that we use in our lab predominantly. And then the B-roll footage would be him doing it on, like the different tests on me. So it was cool. They asked me to be a part of it. And that's what my research focused around. So I'm very comfortable doing it. They're like, do you mind being on camera for this? I was like, we do this all the time. I don't mind. Like, so yeah, it was very interesting, and I think it's great that they're going to offer that online and for non-majors, for people who are just interested.
That's cool. There's a picture of you at the Blackstone Labs pool party this year. A really cool bikini. Where'd you get that at?
It's super old. It's actually from Victoria's Secrets, and it's like, I mean, probably 4 years old, and it's one of those things you can't really wear in very many places. And I was like, oh, I haven't worn this in forever. Let me bring it to Vegas.
That's cool. I've heard you say in an interview before that competitors shouldn't be competing if their only reason for competing is for a trophy. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. So placings are very. First of all, you should never define your worth on what somebody else is subjectively judging you on, right? There's so many things that go into judging. Particularly bikini, there's all different facets that they're judging. So if you're putting, all your eggs in one basket as far as I'm going to get this person's opinion about me, that is a terrible, terrible idea. Also, things are so subjective that, this used to happen with horses too when I used to ride. So somebody may like dark hair girls with this color suit and this physique, and then another judge might like someone who looks completely different. So depending on where you compete, who's judging you, like who else shows up, your placings can change dramatically. I mean, I've seen girls get first place, then go to second call-outs the next week. Their body didn't change, but all these other things changed. So you really can't get hung up on that. And when you do, it makes it very, very sad and unfulfilling, because you start thinking all these negative things, like I put all this work into it and then I didn't place how I wanted to. But in reality, if you're prepping for other things, like this year, I was prepping to show people, look, you can have structured flexibility, you can travel a lot, you can do all these things, and really just using my message and social media as a platform for my message, for myself and for my clients, was really the most rewarding experience. I have done well this year, which has also been, of course, an exciting side effect of all of that. I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't excited to get 3rd place last week. That is like the cherry on top, right? But if I were to get 1st place or last place, the journey and all the things that I've learned and all the things that I can teach other people from it are really what's most important.
That's great. I love how smart you are. Laurin, last question for you. Someone might be watching this video right now. They're thinking, I wish I had motivation like her to eat healthy, work out. What would you say to them?
I would say to start small. Not every day is perfect for anyone, no matter me, you, the person that you see on Instagram who you think life is great. Everyone has their days, right? And thinking that you have to be perfect is actually going to lead you to not being perfect. And overall, consistency is the number one thing, no matter what you're doing. So what I see that most people do is that they're very up and down. They'll have a few good days, and then they'll go really, really high up, and then they'll go back down, and then they'll do this. And then very common in the fitness industry and not in the fitness industry. So starting small and realizing that you don't need to be perfect every day. There is no need to be perfect every day. And that just being consistent and being mindful is actually what you should focus on. And then everything else will fall into place.
That's really cool. Well, I love how articulate you are, and I really appreciate your time. So
of course,
that's all I got. So
awesome. Great questions, and thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk to you later. Thank you, Laurin.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.